It watches from the pines. They told Luke not to go into Black Hollow Forest after dark. The locals weren't superstitious, just cautious. People went missing in those woods. Not hikers or campers, locals. People who knew better. But Luke was a photographer. He had a deadline, and Black Hollow had the kind of untouched wilderness that sold magazine covers. So he ignored the warnings, packed his camera, and slipped into the trees just before dusk. The deeper he went, the quieter it got. No birds. No wind. Just the crunch of his boots, and the occasional snap of a twig behind him. He turned quickly each time, expecting an animal. But the forest always looked the same, dense, shadowed, unmoving. When the sun dipped behind the treetops, Luke set up camp. He built a small fire and started reviewing the photos on his camera. That's when he noticed it. In several shots, taken in different parts of the forest, there was a shape. At first, he thought it was a shadow or some kind of blur. But zooming in, he saw something tall, lanky, with legs too long and arms that nearly touched the ground. It stood in the background, half hidden behind trees, watching him. Luke's breath caught in his throat. He spun around. Nothing but darkness and trees. He told himself it was a trick of the light. A branch. Pareidolia. He put the camera away, fed the fire, and tried to sleep. But the whispers started just after midnight. Low, rustling voices that came from every direction. They spoke no language he knew, just soft hisses, like breath through teeth. Then came the snapping. Twigs breaking, slow and deliberate, circling his camp. Luke sat up, his skin crawling, heart racing. He grabbed his flashlight and swept it through the trees. A face flashed in the beam, white and long, featureless except for two black pits where eyes should be. Gone in an instant. Luke scrambled out of his tent. He didn't pack. He didn't think. He just ran. Branches slapped his face. Roots clawed at his ankles. But he kept going. Behind him, the forest came alive, branches breaking, leaves rustling, the sound of something massive moving quickly and silently just beyond the edge of the light. He reached a clearing and stopped. No more sounds. No creature. Just the wind howling through the pines. And then he looked down. Beneath his feet were dozens of footprints. Not boots. Not paws. Just long, narrow, bare footprints, like someone had been walking in circles for hours. Except they weren't his. Luke never made it out of Black Hollow. Days later, search teams found his campsite. His camera was still there, the fire long dead. The tent slashed open from the inside. They checked the photos. In the last one, Luke's face filled the frame, eyes wide with terror, snapped at the very moment something tall and pale reached out from the shadows behind him. No one goes into Black Hollow anymore. But sometimes, if you're near the tree line at night, you can hear branches snap. And something breathing just a little too close. Watching. Waiting. A month after Luke vanished, his younger sister, Erin, came to Black Hollow. She didn't believe in monsters. She didn't believe the town's story, that her brother simply wandered too far and got lost. She knew Luke. He was careful, methodical. And most importantly, he texted her a photo the night before he disappeared, just one image. It showed a pale figure, blurred and distant, between the trees. She hadn't shown it to the police. She didn't trust them. Erin brought Luke's backup SD cards, his old forest maps, and a voice recorder. She planned to retrace his steps, maybe find some real answers. It wasn't grief that drove her, it was a cold, sharp instinct that something unnatural had taken him. The first night in the forest was quiet. Too quiet. She heard no birds. No bugs. Not even whine through the branches. But she felt it. Something just outside the ring of her flashlight, watching. At 3:12 a.m., the recorder picked up something strange. It began with static, then a voice. Faint. Male. Aaron. She jerked awake in her tent. Rewound the recorder. The voice came again, softer now. Aaron, behind you. She spun around. Nothing. But when she stepped outside, the ground was covered in footprints. Bare. Long, deep, like someone had been pacing in circles all night. She should have left then. But instead, Aaron pressed deeper into the woods, following Luke's last trail. She found the same clearing the search party had described. The ground still looked trampled. Trees around it were clawed, not with tools, but fingers. Long, deep gouges in the bark. At the center of the clearing stood something new. A wooden totem, 6 feet tall. Made of bones. Animal, mostly, except for the skull at the top. Human. Cracked. Luke's name was carved into the forehead. Aaron staggered back, nearly dropped her recorder. That's when she heard it again, branches snapping in the distance. Deliberate. Rhythmic. Getting closer. She didn't run. Not this time. She whispered into the recorder. If anyone finds this, don't come looking for me. Then the sound stopped. Right behind her. Aaron turned. There, in the fog, stood the creature. Towering. Bones pushing through skin. Its mouth hung open too wide, like it had forgotten how to be human. And its eyes, two deep black voids. It didn't lunge. It leaned forward, impossibly slowly, and whispered in a hollow voice. 2 now. Then the recorder clicked off. The police found it later, lying in the dirt outside the forest. Still playing. Still whispering. And behind every new voice that joins the whispers, Luke's and Aaron's are always the loudest. Thank you for watching, but beware, some stories never truly end.